Hi, and welcome to today's bonus pick a card reading. Every so often I get ideas for a pick a card reading that doesn't really play to the majority of my audience, okay? And when I get these ideas, usually they kind of pass in my mind. I'm like, no, I'd rather do something that's more applicable. But when I got this idea, it just kept sticking with me over and over again, and I was like, you know what, I have to do it, because I feel like there's enough people that would benefit from it for whatever reason. So, today's pick a card reading bonus question is, what will they think of me when we meet? And this is for those of you who have gotten involved with somebody online or somebody through some kind of long distance relationship and you haven't met yet, but you guys have started building a really strong connection. Maybe you have exchanged pictures and done video chat and all of that good stuff. Or maybe you're still just getting to know each other and you're hoping you're going to meet. This could also be for friends, to know. But it is going to be aimed with the idea that this is a romance reading, okay? So I just want to let you guys know that there's probably going to be some romantic content in this. So anyway, I thought that would be a good one to do for those of you who have a long distance relationship going on and you haven't met your person yet and you're just curious, like, well, what's going to happen when we meet, right? So we have 4 piles. We've got the purse, the mirror, the shoe, and the comb, okay? And while you're thinking about which one you want to go with, just want to mention, if you're watching and it's still 2018, you can go ahead and get a reading at my lower prices, because my prices will go up in 2019, all right? And I still have plenty of slots open for the rest of the year. As long as you order by December 31st, 2018, you will get the lower cost. For those of you who need to know anything else about me, it's in the description. That would include how to contact me, the timestamps, how to donate to the channel. Everything that I get in donations goes straight to the channel. It's, our wish list is stuff that we want anyway, and we're gonna go ahead and purchase anyway. So if you wanted to make a purchase for the channel, go ahead, but it's not needed. It's just down there because enough people have asked for it. Alrighty, that's all I can think of, so I'm going to go ahead and start the reading. Okay, so pile 1, those of you who picked the purse, let's go ahead and move the rest of these piles over a little bit here. Don't want to get them mixed up. And let's focus on you guys. All right, so we've got, this is going to be a very tempting experience. You're not going to want to leave. You're not going to, you're not going to want to really, like once you get there, or once they get there, once you guys get to the point where you're meeting, you're not really going to want to go away from each other. However, there is going to feel something kind of naughty about it, something kind of wrong about it in a little bit, like a little way, and that, I think it's because it's going to be so sexual when the two of you meet. We've got the 6 of Swords, which lets me know that, this is definitely going to be like a physical trip that's going to take place. This isn't going to be a situation where, this is going to be like for a short term. It's not going to be like one of you moves to be into the other in the other person's lives. This is going to be like a physical trip that's going to take place before the two of you meet. And it's also going to be something that has to do with, like, one of you or both of you are going to reach a point where you are just basically driving yourselves crazy about not being able to see one another, and you feel like you're just kind of like locked up and you're not seeing each other, and you just really, really want to, okay? If you're wondering when this is going to happen, this is going to happen with divine timing, okay? It's going to come at the time that it's most right for the two of you. So it's not one of those situations. I feel like this is a group that has picked this pile because more to find out what the energy is going to be between the two of you than when this is going to happen. Although I do understand that when it's going to happen is very important. We've got 9, so we've got September. We have 6, so we also have June. So it could happen between September and June, but I mean, or between June and September, but I mean, it could be any time really. I just want to mention that the divine timing um, is an important aspect of this. So, kind of to go with this devil card that came up, we have yearning. This is a very sexy card. Let me go ahead and read the little. This is a longing for someone, undesired separation, and pining after one another. I really feel like that's what's going to bring the two of you together at this point. You're going to be like, I can't stand being apart any longer. And both of you are going to be feeling it. And that's what's going to push the two of you together. So again, I get a lot of that kind of sexual energy, but that's not to say that this isn't that this is only a physical relationship, because I see a lot of thought involved. I see a lot of heart activity as well. This is a relationship that is very, very spiritual in nature, in that it's really being like almost ordained by the universe. And again, with that divine timing, and you know, the crown chakra is like you're channeling this information from the universe, from spirit, from God, and it's like, you know, that this is where you need to go. You need to be with this person, and this relationship is blessed too. You will find that once the two of you meet, that there's even more blessings to come between the two of you. Then we've got the Mystic here, which I think is a really interesting card, first off, to come with this. But what it lets me know is that both of you are going to have a vision for how to be together. So basically, when did the two of you first meet? The main thing that's going to happen is that you guys are going to be extremely attracted to one another, okay? Whether or not you act on that or not, you know, is going to be up to you guys, but it's just going to very, very powerful sexual attraction, okay? There is this kind of feeling of escaping, to be together, like you're escaping something maybe mundane or boring or something like that to be together. I can see how that would kind of play into any relationship or any vacation even, but it feels like there's something more strong there. So it might be that one of you is either in a job that you really don't like, or maybe is in another relationship that you really don't like. It's just like you're just coming from a part, like both of you guys are coming from a place where it's like things aren't working, you know. It's like the only thing that works is when you're with this person and you finally have to be together. So that's the way that I'm getting, even though I don't think that this is going to be like the ultimate move. I don't feel like you're coming together and then that's it. I feel like there is going to be a separation after that, but not like a separation in the relationship, but just a physical separation before the two of you kind of get together and that's where you are. But just know that the universe is trying to push you together, that this is a blessed situation, and the two of you will both be able to come up together with what's going to happen in the future. Because what the Mystic does is that Mystic, in this deck at least, is able to anticipate what's going to come. And when the two of you are able to, when you put your mind to figuring out how to be together, you will find an answer, because this is something that both of you want really, really badly, and it's only going to get more. It's just only going to increase once the two of you see each other. And those of you who are maybe with a friend, and or maybe with maybe with somebody who you're not really sure if you're friends or not, but you do know that there's something there, and maybe one of you has a vacation planned or something like that. This is going to turn into a bigger deal than you might think it is, because seriously, I cannot express the sexual energy that's coming from this. It's just going to be very, very intense. Very intense sexual energy. Just want to say, the Hermit, I'm only saying this because I feel led to, and I usually don't like to do this, but the Hermit can represent a Virgo, and the Devil can represent a Capricorn. So I do want to say that there's a lot of earthiness here, but this can apply to any astrological sign, okay? It really can. This isn't just Virgos and Capricorns and that's it, because, you know, we've got Swords, which is all of the air signs. That would be Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. You know, we've got all sorts of stuff going on in here. When we talk about yearning and passion, we've got the fire signs there. When we talk about the Mystic and blessings and these kinds of things, and then we've got the water signs as well. You know, I mean, so we've got everything in here, but it's just these two cards happen to point towards Virgo and Capricorn. Capricorn, so I don't want to leave that out. But this is a very positive thing. I'm not seeing anything negative about this, unless you feel a little bit worried about the idea of having that intense physical attraction to one another. It would definitely be an interesting, I mean, I'm not laughing at you guys. I'm just laughing at the idea of how this would definitely be a very interesting situation if the two of you felt that strongly sexually attracted to one another, yet you weren't able to fulfill that physical urge to be together. While the two of you are together, and in this particular meeting, it would be very uncomfortable, like totally uncomfortable and very strange for both of you. But this is a relationship that's coming together. This is not a relationship that is, it's not, if it's just a friendship, it's not going to stay at the friendship level. So be warned for that. And if it's something more, it's definitely going to continue. This is not a situation that's stopping anytime soon. And once the two of you guys meet each other, it's not going to stop after that either. It's almost like those feelings are going to even get bigger, and the urgency to be together is going to get even stronger. So that is how that's going to play out for you guys. All right, those of you who picked the mirror, number 2, we have, I like to start with the tarot cards first. Here, we've got some good stuff. Okay, so we've got the 7 of Swords, and we've got the 8 of Cups and the Star. So I really feel like one of you is walking away from a negative emotional experience to be with the other, okay? Like there's, one of you has gone through something that's really, really emotionally upsetting. And because of that, that might be how you met, or that might be the reason that the two of you actually meet up physically. And then as a result, either another one of you or both of you are really in your heads. You know, you don't want to get too emotional. You don't want to get too emotionally invested. You want to just kind of think about this on a more intellectual level, that kind of thing. Maybe there's an intellectual connection there that you really like. But when you've got the Star, we've got not only hope and direction and all of that great stuff, but we also have vulnerability, which is something that's kind of interesting. I think that the two of you will meet each other and you're going to feel really vulnerable because you can't hide from this person now. You know, you can't hide behind a screen or behind, you know, an app or anything like that. Like, they see the real you. And I feel like one thing you can do to lessen that, if vulnerability is a yucky feeling for you, is to kind of get in the habit of thinking about how you're totally fine. You know, you are totally fine. This person is attracted to you. So no matter what you look like, no matter how you present yourself, you're going to be fine, okay? We also have a lot of just really being in the present. It's going to feel just, you're really going to be savoring every single moment together, both of you. It's just going to feel like every single second is a gift, and you guys are going to make the most out of it. So you're not going to be wasting your time with this person when you're together. You guys are going to have a lot of communication too. I feel like the two of you are going to spend most of your time together during this meeting. You're not going to spend a whole lot of time by yourselves. So when the two of you do come together, it's like you're staying up until the morning talking about things, that kind of thing. It's like you guys are just really there. You're upping that intimacy so strongly. There might be sexual intimacy, but it just feels so much like everything's coming together. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Another thing, one of you guys might be worrying about something. Like I mean, I know that's like so vague. One of you might be worrying about the relationship, like worrying that it's not going anywhere, or worrying that you're overthinking things, that kind of thing. That's going to resolve itself by you guys meeting up, okay? So I just want to mention that. I don't think there's going to, like, those worries are going to be put down when the two of you are together, okay? And another thing is that it's gonna, there's gonna be a real sweetness about it. It's gonna feel really sweet. It's going to make you guys, feel like young. It's gonna make yourself feel like you're in your teens, all right? It's just gonna feel so refreshing to be with this person. It's gonna be great. and both of you are going to be like really, really like happy, really joyful. It's just, I don't know, it just feels so like, and it feels like everything's really completed in this situation, and like that joy in being able to see one another is just going to be great. I mean, and no matter how vulnerable you feel, and no matter how you know how worried you are about how it's gonna go, like they're gonna find you absolutely beautiful, like absolutely attractive. So there's no problems there, okay? None at all. So don't worry about that. However, it's not going to be, this isn't going to be like you see each other and then that's it. One of you moves and all of that. I mean, it's not like the first time you see each other, it's because one of you has moved. I feel like you're still gonna have to wait for the two of you to be together. And as far as you guys staying together, it looks very, very favorable just because you guys are going on. I mean, you're going to be clicking so well, you know. But I'm not asking about what's going to happen in the future. I'm just asking, you know, what's it going to be like when the two of you meet for the first time in physical reality, IRL, as they say. And it's going to be great. I mean, feeling nervous is kind of normal. You know, when it comes to meeting somebody for the first time, especially if you're really invested in them and all of that kind of stuff. But there's nothing for you to worry about. You guys are going to really make the most out of the visit. And, you know, I really feel like most of you will end up waiting it out because it'll be worth it. All right. Okay. Okay, pile 3, those of you who picked the shoe, let's see how things are going to go here for you guys. I like to start with the tarot, so let's start here. Okay. Oh, so we've got, you guys might have some conflicts there. We also have the 8 of Rods. When this happens, it's going to happen really fast. And then we've got the 4 of Cups. So this is really concentrating on the heart, really concentrating on the feelings. Okay, so we've got passion and we've got feelings. The 5 of Rods can indicate so many different things that I feel like it's really important for me to mention all 3 different things. It can be being playful, okay? It can be being competitive, okay, but it can also be a lot of conflict, okay, like it could, and it feels like it's more like small conflict rather than big, you know, passionate conflict. It feels more like bickering instead of having all-out arguments. So what this tells me about this relationship is that this is a relationship where the two of you are very much on each other's levels, and you guys can talk about just about anything, and you guys are going to be comfortable having some kind of debate and all of that kind of stuff without it threatening the two of you, because I'm not getting that this is going to be a negative feeling or anything, okay? And you guys are going to be focusing on how you feel about each other, and you're going to be focusing on the relationship itself, like being together, being around one another. The thing that it comes out to me right now is just that with the 8 of Rods, it feels like it might be a quick visit instead of a long-term visit. And by that, I mean, instead of spending like a week together, it might be a weekend. Instead of spending like 2 weeks together, it might be only a week, you know, that kind of thing. So whatever you have in mind as far as how long would be a suitable amount of time to spend together, it might be a little bit less than that. So just keep that in mind. I don't think that that's going to take away from meeting up, though, because you guys are very joyful and celebratory. You're also gonna finally feel grounded, like, okay, this is real. It's gonna feel like that kind of thing, like, okay, you're real, I'm real, this is actually happening kind of thing. You're still gonna be in that place of disbelief that the two of you are even exist in each other's lives. So that's gonna be a really interesting experience, okay? But yeah, you're going to feel very joyful. You're going to want to, I think that you guys are going to be going out and doing something to kind of celebrate the two of you guys coming together. And then we also have a lot of spiritual growth that's coming from this relationship too. And it's like that's going to be accelerated even more. So any of those kind of cool synchronicities are, I don't know, like shared experiences, shared dreaming, that kind of stuff, it's going to get even more ridiculous once the two of you meet in person. And then we also have a lot of sexual energy between the two of you. I think that you guys are actually going to be sexual with one another. You're going to have encounters and that kind of thing. So that, that'll definitely that'll definitely solidify some things for you guys. And then I do have, though, deception and envy. I feel like it's gonna be very frustrating when the two of you are apart, because you won't be able to. It's almost like you're jealous. You're not necessarily jealous of a specific person, or it's not like there's a specific thing that's lied about, as much as it's like you're just jealous of everybody, that anybody who's in your person's area can be around that person, and it's not you. Or that your person could be doing anything and you don't really know what they're doing. It's almost like some people, when they become really, really attached to another person, they just get they just think so much about that person, they come up with things to be upset about sometimes. And I feel like that's the way that it could go, as a result of you guys meeting up. So try to keep that, if it's you, just try to keep it in check. And like, seriously, I'm a jealous person myself, and I try to keep it in check a lot. But I mean, here's a true story about me that happened in the past couple of months. Me and this guy, who's my very close friend, I noticed on his Facebook that he friended another girl, okay? Now, this guy's married, and I have a partner, and there's no reason for me to even care who he's friended or anything like that, okay? But this person talks to me a lot, and I talk to him a lot, okay? So we do have a very strong friendship. Anyway, of course, before I told him about how I felt, because I had to tell him afterwards, I was like, "Who is this other girl? Oh my gosh," and I'm getting like all upset inside of myself, and I click on it, and after doing just a little bit of looking into it, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's his little sister. Oh my goodness," And so later on, I was all like, "Oh, by the way, I saw that you have a new friend. That's your sister, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of funny, but I was actually jealous." I was like, "Who's this new girl?" And I just want to give that as an illustration that if I can do it, anybody can do it, seriously. I mean, if I can do it with somebody who's not even my partner, and I just know how that can, I know that how that can be, when your mind goes to that. And I don't know why it does. I know that there's just some of us that it's like, maybe there's something that happened in childhood. Maybe there's a general feeling of mistrust. Maybe we've been hurt in many different situations, and we just don't want to be hurt again. So we want to be like on the ball. We want to be on top of things. But just know that if it's coming from you, if you feel like maybe there's some deception going on and you're feeling a little jealous, just know that a lot of that deception is going to come from self-deception, and a lot of that jealousy is really about feeling insecure with yourself, not so much about that person themselves. It's not about your person. It's really more about you. If this goes on with your person, if your person's the one that's feeling like maybe you're being deceptive, or maybe maybe they're jealous of the people you're around or something like that, just know that where they're coming from is just a place where they don't want to be hurt, and they want to make sure that you care about them best. That's it. That's all it is. They just want to know that you care about them best, and that's it. So try to communicate that to them if that's what they're going through, and just know that part of them really knows it's irrational, okay? Because seriously, when I was going through that with my friend just a few months ago, I knew it was irrational. I still just got this thing inside of me, and it just was all like, find out everything you can about that girl. And I mean, I'm laughing, and it's not, it's really, it was very unpleasant for me to feel. And it was kind of confusing too, but at the same time, just know that it happens, okay? And that's okay. It's what you do about it that matters, okay? All right, but the bottom line is that you guys are going to have a fun time together, okay? And that's, I think, even more important. All right, pile number 4, those of you who picked the comb. All right, so I like to start with the tarot, so let's go ahead and get the tarot out here. We've got the World, we've got the Queen of Pentacles, and we've got the High Priestess. So you've got both the physical realm and the intuitive realm here, which makes me feel like this is a very mature relationship. My goodness. Yeah, you guys are definitely gonna be at a much stronger level than a lot of people. Okay, I just gotta say that. I mean, it just feels very mature. It feels very whole. It feels like the two of you guys have really planned for the future here. It looks like one of you might already have kids, or one of you might, or maybe both of you are kind of like older, like you're not, for example, you're not in your 20s, maybe you're in your 30s or 40s or even your 50s, that kind of thing. Like, it feels like you already have a large part of life lived, or if you are younger, if you are in your 20s or your teens, then it's like you've accomplished a lot since school, like you've really accomplished a lot of stuff. Okay. But yeah, it feels like one or both of you might have kids. So I just wanted to mention that. This is going to come at a time of the year where you're feeling very financially stable, so it's going to be fine to travel. If I had to guess, I would say you, the viewer, is going to be the one traveling and not your person, although it could be either, but it feels like you, the viewer, is going to. But this feels like a really strong, really strong meeting. And also, I just want to say, this is the opposite of the last piles, by the way. However long you feel like you're gonna spend together, like if you think, well, we'll see each other for a weekend, it's gonna actually be a week, or if you think, okay, maybe a couple of weeks, it's gonna turn into a month, like that kind of thing. It's like, it feels like you're gonna be seeing them for a lot longer than you thought you would. So that's actually, a bonus too there. Oh my goodness. This is the equivalent of the Lover's card in this particular deck. I feel like you guys are going to get along really well. You're going to see each other on a new level, and it's going to be like one of those, it's going to be one of those situations where it's almost like you guys might not actually meet up under the idea that the two of you are going to have a relationship, or you guys are going to be together or anything like that. It feels more like you guys are going to meet up, and then all of a sudden it's like you didn't even realize how much chemistry that the two of you had created between the two of you. And it's like you're gonna, if you can't be together for whatever reason, it's going to feel very uncomfortable for both of you. And whether or not that's communicated to each other while you're on the trip is kind of up in the air, but it feels like this connection between the two of you is really, really strong. And it's going to really throw both of you through a loop. So whatever level that your relationship is on when you guys actually do meet up, it's going to get so much more intense. And those of you who already have it defined as a relationship, like boyfriend and girlfriend, girlfriend and girlfriend, or boyfriend and boyfriend, that kind of thing, just know it's going to get even more. I mean, this is a very strong connection. We have centering. So you guys are both going to be feeling kind of off. And so you guys would both benefit from centering yourself, just knowing, okay, I've got to breathe. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. That kind of thing. It's like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. Okay, got to stay normal. That kind of thing. I mean, I don't usually try to explain cards just by kind of play acting, but that's the best way I can do it, really, because it's just like, I feel like, even in this picture, I feel like it's like you go into the bathroom, like in high school, right? You go into the bathroom and you're like, oh my God. And you have to jump up and down and okay, I'm gonna be okay. And you splash your face with water and that kind of stuff. It's like that kind of caricature of what happens when you meet somebody that. And what's going to be really interesting is that you're going to find that they are at least acting like they feel the same way about you. And the reason why they're acting that way is because, they do. We've got celebration here. It's kind of interesting because you're not the only pile that got celebration. Got celebration as well. So I really feel like the two of you are going to do something kind of organizational to celebrate the fact that the two of you are like in the same space basically. Like, so guys might go out to eat, you guys might go somewhere specific, you know, that kind of thing. It's gonna feel like it's a special event, that kind of thing. We also have emergence. I apologize if the artwork is offensive to anybody, but emergence is kind of like, when I think about it, I think about not only like a flower blooming, but I also think of it like the sun coming up in the morning and how it like slowly sheds light on everything that was hidden before. And I really feel like that's a great metaphor for what's gonna happen when the two of you meet. And that makes sense if the two of you are kind of taken aback by each other. Like, oh wow, this is so much more than I thought it was. That kind of feeling, because it's like anything that was hidden before is gonna be way out in the open. And one thing that I can say about that is that in the off chance, and I'm only saying this as a disclaimer for those of you who do, and I'm not saying that everybody has a situation, but in the off chance that one or both of you is already in a relationship, just know that you've got to keep, I mean, really keep in mind that there's other people in this situation. If your spouse or significant other is there with you, keep in mind that they can see it too. So you're gonna have to kind of try to tone it down, because it's gonna be very difficult to hide. If this is your person, it's going to be very difficult to hide from anybody, because it's going to be so obvious. So I do need to say that for those of you, I don't feel like there's a lot of you, but I feel like there's a small few that if you guys don't want the people around you to know that this is going on, whether it's a spouse or a partner or just somebody else who's there, make sure you kind of make sure that you kind of almost try to overcompensate, because it'll be written all over your face and your body language and your person's too. So kind of keep that in mind. Another thing that this is going to make you feel like doing is the word for this is adrift. I think that's a little misleading for what the card means. Because what the card actually means is that this is kind of like letting things happen the way that they're meant to be. So it's like you guys are gonna just allow what is going on between the two of you to be what it is, okay? And I really feel like that's going to bring you together, because it's like once you meet in person, there's no denying that you're supposed to be together. So however you guys are able to end up being at that point, that's what you're going to do, because it's obvious that that's the only thing you can do at that point, right? So I do feel like this is going to be one of those situations where like meeting each other is the beginning, rather than knowing each other already and all of the stuff you've been through at this point. It feels like meeting each other is what really kicks this up. Alrighty? That looks really intriguing. That looks very interesting. And you got nothing but positive cards. Even the adrift card, that's very, very positive. It's just allowing it to happen. I mean, really, it feels so mature. It feels so mature to me when I feel that energy. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for staying until the end of my video. I do appreciate all of you guys, and I really am glad that I went ahead and did this reading for those few of you that it would apply to. Just know that I read all of the comments, and I celebrate every single one of my new subscribers and my likes and all of that kind of stuff. So letting me know that I'm doing a good job helps me know what direction to go with my channel and all of that kind of good stuff. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later on my channel.